You are politically conscious. You've talked about development, political parties, governance, development, or I already said development, all of those kinds of things, then you have had this conversation. But this is a reminder because a personality that is also a stakeholder in the business of good governance and has at multiple times attempted to occupy the top office in the country said a few things. It's not just what he said, it's also how he said it. And who could this personality be? Well, it is former presidential candidate, but he is better known as an activist, Omoyele Sowore. He has faulted the rotational presidency system in Nigeria. Sowore was on Channels Television, and he says the country should be interested in a president who will run Nigeria better, irrespective of his region. Sorry. Had to fix something. If I have a good president in Nigeria who can run the country very well, I don't care where he comes from. This is what majority of Nigerians are aspiring for. Now, his statement sounds politically correct. If you're trying to be objective, it seems like the right thing to say. But you cannot have this conversation without understanding what rotational presidency is and why it exists. But before we get to definitions, explanation, analysis, and then you get to be a part of this conversation, let's hear Sowore say what he said. Now, as you can imagine and expect, he said it in classic Sowore fashion. He didn't use any vulgar words, but, well, you could hear his disdain for the political class in his statements, the way he said it, right? So expect the unexpected, or just brace yourself for how Sowore speaks. Let me put it like that.
But we want a country where everybody will have equal opportunity at the center. So if I want to be president of Nigeria today and I'm competent, you are saying that because my zone already presented a useless person, I will not be able to have an opportunity until the other zone provides their own useless person to waste my time. And before you know it, the country is gone. So it's senseless for anybody to come on TV or come openly to tell you that, oh, we only want to spend 4 years in power because we already have a covenant with the political devils not to spend more than 4 years because they need to present another bad person. It shows to you that they were never interested, and that's the highest level of desperation, by the way, to say that, oh, you know, I just want a quick opportunity to do what I can do and I'll move and shift away. What if the people say to you in 4 years, we want more? Or because you had an unwritten agreement, an unspoken covenant with somebody or some people who are not known to law, who are not known to Nigerian people, you are going to leave. It shows that you are not serious in the first place. But it's a trick. You know, anybody who believes that a Nigerian politician will spend 4 years in power and leave after 4 years, yes, I have a breed to sell to you.
Okay. So this sounds kind of similar to what Soludo said yesterday. Well, he didn't say yesterday, but I played it yesterday. But a different choice of words and a different perspective to the conversation. And unfortunately, thanks to recency bias, anybody who now talks about one term, I just want to do 4 years, the name that comes to mind is Peter Obi, because he seems like the latest person who made that statement. Was Sowore referring to Peter Obi? Not necessarily. It was a larger conversation, but this made its way in making his point. So he says that rotational presidency is senseless. That office is for everyone who is eligible to run, regardless of where they are from. We need a competent president, right? And like I said, on paper, it does make sense. But you want to ask yourself, why does this system even exist in the first place? And what are the things holding people back thanks to this? I'm from the southern part of Nigeria by origin. So if tomorrow I'm in the mood to run for office of the number one job in this country, which is the president, and it's the turn of those from the north, to a large extent, the odds are against me. It is more in favor of the north than it is for me. It doesn't mean that I would not run, I can't, but we have all somehow agreed and shaken hands that the next one is going to the north. So Showore says it's crazy. And that is also why Peter Obi said he wanted to do just one term. Because he claimed that he believes in rotation of government. He also said that he implemented it as a governor in Anambra. In the famous words of the FCT minister, who was the former governor of Rivers State, Inyendeba. Exactly. If you give this one, you give this one. So that it will go round. So what is rotational presidency? Has a similar definition to zoning. It's an informal political arrangement in Nigeria designed to ensure equitable distribution of political power. Informal means it's not in the constitution. They didn't sign it anywhere. You will not see it. See people's thumbprint and stamp. No, it's an agreement. Nothing. It started with political parties. That's the zoning. If we zone the ticket here, we zone it there. Before you started, and then it became culture. States. So if governor, this one go. So it's something that is in the political consciousness that it's important that a man or woman from every part of the state or country test this power so that it will go round. And so far, somehow, Nigeria has managed to follow the principle since the dawn of the Fourth Republic. Yes, some people did not agree. But somehow it played out. 1999, Obasanjo was the president. Where is he from? The South. After Buhari, where is he from? North. After Buhari, Tinubu, South. So it has gone south, north, now south again. Even though some people attempted to contest again, even though people from other regions tried, the power has always shifted south to north, south to north. And so somehow, in the conscience of some people, it seems there is balance of power. But you see, it's not just about the geopolitical zones. It's now also about tribe. Because while they are doing south, north, some people are not saying, nobody from my side has become president. Because you need to remember that there's northeast, northwest, and north central. There's southwest, southeast, and south-south. Now, people are not satisfied with the whole south and north. A particular ethnic group, the Igbos, say an Igbo man has never been president since the dawn of the Fourth Republic. So this whole south-north it doesn't seem like it's working for them. And there are many other challenges that this whole rotational presidency has posed. And somehow the underlying factor, which a lot of people don't also talk about, is that this Obi presidency is supposed to solve the South problem and also the Igbo issue. Somehow. So, my question is, it's not do you believe in the rotation? It's not, I'm looking at all the cliche ways that I can ask it. My question is, what benefit or development has Nigeria enjoyed because of rotational presidency? As we have been jumping from south, Obasanjo, to north, Yar'Adua, to south, Goodluck, to north, Buhari, and now south, Tinubu, what exactly has come out of that system that we can say, oh, because we rotated, see the things that we gained? Secondly, how would Nigeria have fared if there was no rotational presidency? If that informal arrangement did not exist? If nobody anywhere did not shake hands, did not zone, did not say, let it come from here. They say, everybody, if you reach you, just put head. Would Nigeria have been better off or worse? if we did not have the unspoken rule, the informal arrangement, the gentlemanly agreement of rotational presidency? Now, please try to remember these questions. I have a break coming up now. It's a short one. After that, I'll open the phone lines for you to be a part of the conversation. Stay with us.
center. So if I want to be president of Nigeria today and I'm competent, you are saying that because my zone already presented a useless person, I will not be able to have an opportunity until the other zone provides their own useless person to waste my time. And before you know it, the country is gone. So it's senseless for anybody to come on TV or come openly to tell you that, oh, we only want to spend 4 years in power because we already have a covenant with the political devils not to spend more than 4 years because they need to present another bad person. It shows to you that they were never interested, and that's the highest level of desperation, by the way, to say that, oh, I just want a quick opportunity to do what I can do, and I'll move and shift away. What if the people say to you, in 4 years, we want more? Or because you had an unwritten agreement, an unspoken covenant with somebody or some people who are not known to law, who are not known to Nigerian people, you are going to leave. It shows that you are not serious in the first place. But it's a trick. Anybody who believes that a Nigerian politician will spend 4 years in power and leave after 4 years, yes, I have a breed to sell to you.
All right, the words and voice of former presidential candidate and activist Omoyele Sowore. If you were shocked by the way he sounded and you haven't heard him speak, so please focus on the message and possibly ignore how it landed. But he was speaking about the rotational presidency, and to sum it up, he calls it senseless. Before the break, I explained what it is and how it has played out so far in the Fourth Republic. So my question, straight to business, so you're a part of this as quickly as possible, is what benefits or developments has Nigeria enjoyed because of rotational presidency? And we have consistently done that since 1999. And how do you think the country would have fared if we did not have that system in place? Now remember, it's not a formal arrangement, it's informal, right? It's something we just know. There are no dotted lines signed, there's nothing anywhere, but in our mind, we just have the feeling that if South finish, North will come in. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp is 080-903-06-416. Well, I have on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, at NigeriaInfoPH. You can watch, listen, and engage. Please keep it brief, go straight to the point, make your point so others can do the same. And remember to turn off your radio as you call. Clinton calls from Bori. Good day, Clinton.
Very much.
All right, go ahead.
So represented a very, very valid point. But we should also consider the fact that our forebearers had an idea where Nigeria from all regions can come together, can be united. Because if you continue to say you want to bring people from one region, other groups might feel marginalized. And that was why they brought up this idea of zoning between the North and the South. But like you asked, what benefits have that brought to us? I think there's nothing there. We've not gotten anything actually from the zoning arrangement. But should we revert back to this same pattern where a particular region continues to bring candidates because the North feels that they're entitled to this particular office because they are the majority? They feel entitled to it. So I think for fairness and equity, that was why this zoning came in. And we've been maintaining it even though we are not actually seeing the dividends. But if we have a country where our leaders put the country first, notwithstanding the zone, I think it will be better for us. But the Northerners should not be entitled to the president every time. That's what I think.
All right. Thank you very much. Lawson calls from Yanugwa. Hello, Lawson.
Sam, immense benefit, I tell you. It is those who do not understand the history of this country that will tell you there is no benefit.
So that's why you've called. Tell us the benefits.
The benefit, number one, is that it has prevented another civil war. Don't forget the civil war that Nigeria fought between 1967 that ended in 1970 was a leadership crisis because an Igbo man was head of state. He came in Aguiyi-Ironsi, and 6 months after, he came in January 15, 1966. 6 months after, exactly July 29, 1966, he was removed, was killed. And then when he was killed, was brought in. And Tuku, who was the governor at the time of the Eastern region, said he's not going to take command from Gowon because he saw Gowon as his mate in the military. And that Gowon cannot. There was a senior officer ahead of Gowon, which was Brigadier Brigadier. At the time, Gowon was Lieutenant Colonel. Ojukwu was Lieutenant Colonel in the army. So Ojukwu refused to accept take command from Gowon. He insisted that they have to bring Ogundikpe, which was a Yoruba man at the time, after an Igbo man has been killed. And at the end of the day, they refused to agree, and this conflict fought a civil war because of that crisis, because of that problem. So if today Nigeria has not recovered from that civil war, why today the Igbos are still suffering what they are suffering? They have not still been able to get the presidency. It's still because of that civil war. Nobody seems to trust them. The leadership has always, even if you go back to the First Republic, it was the leadership team. That was why NCSC, the party at the time, now came into coalition with the Northern People's Congress for them to form the government, and they agreed that Zik should be president, while Tafawa Balewa should be prime minister. To balance it. So there has always been that balancing. It gives, secondly, it gives that sense of belonging. Why do you think the Igbos today are complaining that they want to break out of Nigeria? They've been making attempts because people in this country do not want to allow them to rule. So the only time there will be peace is when it begins to go around and also get to the Igbos.
Okay.
This is the right thing to do. Look, let me tell you, this is third world. Forget whatever it is you are seeing in the developed countries. This is third world.
Thank you, Lawson. That's as much as I can take from you. Daniel from Imo Gate. Hello, Daniel. Good evening.
Good afternoon, Samarako.
Good.
Daniel Imo Gate, Ozako.
Good day.
Yes, on the subject matter, my brother, it's just a sense of belonging. No group should be seen as second-hand citizens to others. Here, I am calling you from Imogeto, Zoako, Okwa West in Abia State, small village in Abia State. Here in Ozoako, we have PhD holders, professors, not only the academic qualifications, but intellectuals. After Chinke Daniel, then about 10 other people will come as president from this small community. How will other people from Okwa West, Abia State, and then the entire Nigeria, how will they look at it? So those that are criticizing P2B, Nelson Mandela, if he believes like we black Africans, he would have governed South Africa till he's dead. But this is somebody, you have something, you can, within a year, you can set a precedent, a platform, where your successor will now follow that footsteps and then change things. This is what somebody can use a year, just like Yaradua and other people. Or just like Mandela that I told you, he will have remained there till he died.
Okay, Daniel.
But there are those who want a change.
It's very important to me that you answer the question. While you've contributed, what benefit has Nigeria enjoyed because of rotational presidency?
Okay, rotational president, a sense of belonging. No one should be second hand to other people.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
A sense of belonging. Okay, that's interesting. So equity, fairness, balance, representation. Is that enough? Can it be measured? Does it qualify as development? Should it go, I don't like to use this word, pare passu, with other things? Gift calls from Yenegua. Hello, Gift. Good evening.
Good evening, Sam Shinedorako.
Good evening.
What a topic. Shinedorako. Forget about whatever thing should be saying. In terms of the rotational presidency, I will not agree with him. But the only aspect I will now now agree with him is the aspect of P2B and any other person who is telling you whether it is Goodluck, Ebele, Jonathan. He has said that before. That one time, forget all those stories. There is none of them that will do the 4 years and just go. They will want to repeat it and they will tell you it is the people that are coming. They said I did well, so I should continue. But in terms of that rotational presidency, you can see how tensed this country is right now as I speak with you. Because why? Atiku Abubakar, but every zone understands that it is north and south. You don't just come to take the other side, the southern people turn for you to run, and you expect people to fold their hands. It is about sense of belonging. It is about balancing. It is about justice and fairness. That was why Ezebonye Sowike told PDP's presidential candidate that I will not support you openly, and he worked against him. And I, Gift from Yenagoye, worked against Atiku Abubakar of my own political party, PDP.
Okay,
because
Gift,
why?
you're moving in the direction that I did not ask. I understand that these political conversations are important for you, but straight to the point, what benefit has Nigeria enjoyed because of rotational presidency?
I am talking about sense of belonging and balancing.
Okay.
The tense situation, already I've given you the answer. I'm only breaking it down.
Okay.
The tense situation as we speak now, can you perceive it? As we speak now, Atiku Abubakar, who is from the north, the whole of the south is telling him, even the coalition that he belongs to, they are telling him, I remember, I think Amechi said, it is the of the south. Why are they using that word? Because of a truth, it is the turn of the south. A man just did 8 years. And you want to come again and you are telling me it is useless people, these people are not wise. Who is that person that is more wiser than the people from either north or south?
Okay. Thank you very much, Gift. I'll take a few more calls, but let's run through messages. The Northerners and the West should come out straight and tell us when it will be the turn of the Igbos to produce a president. These people have not said what they are scared of for long. We claim we are one, and yet the Igbo has not been given the opportunity to produce a president. It's bad. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Equity and fairness should please play out. Okay, that's from Joko Chinedu Augustine. I think it has helped in the aspect of relative peace somehow, and also helped in carrying along of both North and South so far. If that gentleman agreement wasn't there, the problem for plenty passed like this. My thoughts, Elliot says. Good evening, Sam. As it is now, we need external president to help us, so we can't get it right from the way our political system is. Let's borrow a leader from the US or UK to come and help us change the system. I'm certain you're joking. Prince from Kana. I've lost that call. Onyema from Abia State.
Hello.
Onyema,
Sam.
Good evening.
Yes, so thank you for picking me. Thank you for giving me opportunity.
Thank you for calling. Thank you for listening.
Rotational president is not useless. As we've just asked rightly, in fact, it's a way for us to show our taste of power for whoever that comes in there. Now, let me portray a point before I ask a question, please.
Okay.
Now, Showore must know that P2B is saying 4 years is enough for him to fix Nigeria. Give Igbo man a chance. In fact, Igbo man till now, from 1960, has not been into that presidency. Why are they afraid of an Igbo man to become president? Now, my question is this, Sam. Do justice to this question. Is the region only on south-north? That is only on south and north. What of west and east? Is it on regional or tribal? Let me really understand where we are driving into this, our Nigerian political dispensation. I, as a fan, wake up feeling comfortable. Our democracy is fascist. If you look at what is happening now, I would have asked a question concerning not giving credence. Now, on our democracy, Fubara must come back sooner than expected because democracy must be respected if we truly want to move forward.
Okay, Onyema.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, to answer your question, you need to understand that ethnicity, tribe, and all the other things that you mentioned are infused in the regions. So if you want to break it down to an Igbo man, Yoruba man, Hausa man, or this group, that group, these are all the things that make up the regions. So when they say north, which is quite broad, now you're talking northwest, northeast, north central. But guess what? It's all north. When you now say south, southwest, southeast, south-south, it is in that south now that you can now say, okay, Yoruba, southwest, Niger Delta, south-south, Igbo, southeast. Why you are saying, yeah, but the Igbo man has not, what the agreement dictates is that somebody from the south has been president. I say, who are these bodies? You say, former President Goodluck Jonathan and the current President Tinubu. Are they not south? Then I say, no, but the Igbo man, the arrangement was north and south. So ethnicity is buried in the regions, because that's exactly how our geography works. Chima from Rumokuta. Hello, Chima.
Good evening, Mr. Oracle.
Good evening.
Mr. Oracle, why this gentleman agreement is actually because of the minority. Because politics, democracy ordinarily is a numerical strength. You understand? And whether we like it, as you said before, we are tribalist in nature as Africa. Now, the issue here is that now, when you want to begin to vote, they say majority carries the vote. Is it not it? The majority aspect of the land will always win, and the minority will always remain oppressed or minor. Now, let me take you back to Old River State. When we were with Bayelsa, Ikweremma never won an election in this River State, not even by an appointment. They had the Okilo then, they had the other judge, they had the SSP. It was after this Bayelsa was out of River State, we now begin to do as if we are singing out. Now, because of the Ikweremma people are good people, we still give them the chance to see where we say the upland and the riverine dichotomy. Ordinarily, if you go to even the Imo State, like the particular party in Imo State that keep on winning in their government election till today, in the session of 1999. You understand? Now, if you go to Port Harcourt City, you will see that they have one other small tribe they call Aboloma, that was the riverine side. They have not been able to emerge as a local government chairman, even by election or by appointment. Because of why? They have refused to adhere to this normal gentleman agreement. So the issue of all this whole thing is to see how everybody will be carried along. That is actually not a democracy, as to say. But because of African mentality, because we abuse everything that comes before us, that is why this gentleman mentality now came into us. That is actually affecting the democracy. That's what we are suffering for. Because you cannot tell me that I went to school, I should vote for somebody because the person is from my place.
All right.
Or I should vote for somebody because the person is from a minority. I should be able to vote for a more credible person. It doesn't matter. But the issue is that we are Africans. Democracy isn't for us. I have exclaimed it here in your studio always that it is a foreign thing. An airline that came to us. That is why if you look at all the places fighting democracy, apart from the European nations, nowhere is successful. The Asian countries are not fighting democracy. The African ones, the ones that want to do well now, they are not democracy. I'm not saying you should go by Nigeria, but you should understand that it is not for us or Africa.
All right, Chima.
Chima became.
Thank you very much. And Chima has, opened another perspective to this conversation. Now that some people are behind the aspirations of Peter Obi, it fulfills the Southern quota, it fulfills the Igbo presidency agenda, it fulfills all of the narratives that they want to align with. I'm also from the Southeast. I am an Igbo man. Do you think that I would make a better president than Peter Obi if elected? It's hard to say, but the answer for most people would be no. They would obviously prefer Peter Obi. So the next question is, do you trust these regions, these zones, to present their very best? Is it to vote him because he's an Igbo man, put him there? Or do you trust that these people would have engagements with themselves and say, you know what, let us send our brightest and finest? So that in the scheme of things, for the purpose of representation, we know we have someone we can vouch for. Dede calls from Iwofe. All right. Emeka from Owerri. Hello, Emeka.
Cool.
Good evening.
Good evening, my brother in the studio.
Good evening.
See, it's like some of us were missing a particular point in this discourse of this afternoon. I agree with Joe. If you see this point, I disagree in total with Joe.
Okay.
But is not approached with the issue of this country. See, one of the best things, this is the culture we have, the political system we have in Nigeria today. For me, I've been saying it, I don't believe in this political structure of a powerful center and a weak region. I don't believe in that. To me, I would have advised people to have a weak center and a powerful region. The people that will power, give the regions power than even the center. But in as much as we want to run this issue, I think the Rotational Presidency will be the best thing that will happen to us because this intention of a particular kind of intention of this country are more powerful, more populated than other things. Other things are political discussions. We need to have a proper session in this country determine this. And they believe that because they have more structure, political structure, local government structure, everyone has believe that more votes and more people can come. We talk on that case, even if it's not manipulated. What I'm trying to say is this. We need to have a good thinker. But in as much as we return this political structure we are practicing today, rotational presidency will be best. So that everybody will involve. If we are not doing it, we can win the whole 1999. I tell you, every part of this country will continue to win the president. And nothing will happen because everything is about number. They have more faith than what I do. So we have to say that justice and equity to in this country. Let them balance this people. If we have parties, councils, and South and one more center, not west and not east. Let them balance this thing. The way there is no justice, peace can never be 100% assured.
All right, Emeka. Thank you very much. We're almost out of time. Let's do justice to the messages we have here. Sam, as it is now, we need external president. Okay, I took that one. Rotational presidency has not been beneficial to Nigeria holistically. It's a mere method of power shifting and balancing among politicians, but has no economic benefit to us. Mark Akata says on WhatsApp. Sam, to be sincere, the rotation has not brought any benefits to the country. Instead, it has thrown up mediocres who would not have gotten to those leadership positions in the first place to use their ill-gotten money to bribe their way through. Today, they say it is the turn of the South, which Tinubu is presently occupying, and as a Southerner, I can't see what I have benefited from a Southerner being the president. Worse still is that the current president from the South is using his position to intimidate other Southerners while favoring mainly those from his own part of the South. As long as we continue this rotational confusion, Nigeria will never grow. John from Port Hackett says, merry-go-round, Christian Williams. No, just Christian. Simply says from Port Hackett. All right, Christian. And Ascetical A says, I'm giggling hearing us argue about possibility of being voted and elected by the people of Nigeria, as if there's a relationship between who becomes president and vote in Nigeria. If you like, rotate the positions like ceiling fan. Okay, that was funny. Provided few persons are responsible for the rotation, we will remain in our north and south sense of belonging and no meaningful development. That's from Ascetical A. Hi, Oracle. On Shore's statement, I think he's true. Assuming God or Jesus Christ comes down to Nigeria and perform miracle in terms of governance, will Nigerians not reject rotation? Barry from Bori says, good afternoon, Sam. Nigeria's arrangement has no solution. North and South arrangements wouldn't be a bad idea, but it turns out to be a crude idea because of Nigerian people's attitude of corruption. Benefits nothing except the politicians and their followers. Did you give a name? No, you did not. Sam, greetings. Do we have rotational presidency in our constitution? Power is taken according to the FCT minister. Thank God ability at Uebu. No, we don't, which is why I said in the beginning, It's an informal arrangement. Melody from Uniport says, why are we so hypocritic? At our microcosm level, like CDC, local government, state, even some professional bodies like NBA, NMA, NUJ, we practice zoning to enhance sense of belonging and equity. But when it comes to presidency, we start speaking grammar. Have you thought of sound leaders from other zones? Oh, well, that's for Melody. That's as far as I can go. I'm out of time. Should we keep rotating? I don't know. Let's develop.
For more talk